Hi guys, what's up? I'm Joe. Thanks for checking out the channel today. We got a really cool project I want to show you, so let's go jump into it. Alright, we just got our delivery of this Ameristar Gate and trying to lay out our pieces. So there was an old cantilever gate here, but then they added on this office and it messed up this opening here. So they're revamping all this. That's going out of the way, and then now there's going to be a new, from this post to that post, there's going to be a new 30-foot opening with a nice Ameristar ornamental steel cantilever gate to match this steel fence that'll go along the front here. So we just got our delivery of this cantilever gate, and it is a system that is components of tracks and uprights and diagonal braces, and we're getting things laid out so that we can start putting it together. But you can join us and we'll show you that process of getting this all put together and in place. Okay, so this comes in two pieces. This is a full 38 feet end to end. So you can see we got things lined out. This is our top track, and it's got holes to splice there, and then there's another offset splice here for this bottom. So we're gonna get our bottom track and top track spliced together and put together, and then start infilling. All right, well, we got a plane starting up behind us, but all right, this top piece has an internal splice, and then there's these bolts that are 3/8 by 4 inch that go in the top, and then there's a splice, outside splice that goes on the bottom, and it's a 3/8 by 4.5 inch bolt that goes through those. Okay, so we got this top piece put together. On our first take, we had forgotten our outside splice piece, so there's that internal piece on the top, and then this other external splice piece. So that's the top rail put together, and then we turn this one up, get it leveled up, and there's those two pieces that clamp each side of the bottom rail, and then it bolts all the way through there. And if you look at these uprights, the hole pattern does matter. So these holes that go towards the top are 1.5 inches apart and only 1/2 inch from the end. So you want to pay attention to that. And then these holes at the bottom are only 1 inch apart and about 7/8 from the end. So it does matter which way you put your upright in there. To match up with the holes that are on the top and the bottom. Brandon's unloading our lift that we'll use to get this gate in place and move it around. So we got it all put together. Okay, on this I had to start on one end and get this in place. And we just got a bolt in there just to hold it so it doesn't separate. But we started all these uprights into the top to get them into the holes, and then started here with this one kicked out a little bit, and then made our way to line up all these holes. And now you see they're strapping that, pull them all together to line up these holes, and we can start putting our bolts and nuts through these uprights. Alright, so we got our uprights in and bolts in. Then our next step is to put these diagonal brackets, which hold our diagonal braces, and we've got to refer to the drawing per gate from Ameristar, but in this one it's going to be a tension brace. So these 4 are going to go like this toward the top, and then the other 4 will go like this from the top. And then this is the tail. This is the back end. It's gonna go where our posts are. But this tail, these last 2 have an adjustable tensioner, and on those, there's an additional plate that goes behind this bracket for these 2 sections with the adjustable tensioner, and all the others just bolt directly to those diagonal braces. So I'll show you once we start getting some of these in. All right, so we've got our diagonals in and putting in our bolts, tighten things up. Once we got our diagonals in, before we tightened any of this, we checked with our tape right here. We checked the diagonals to make sure this was square, squared everything up. And let's see, from the top to the bottom, it's gonna close this direction. And these back 2 have adjustable turnbuckles that once we get it in place, we can adjust to either raise or lower the gate itself. We're getting close to being able to put it in place. The next thing we gotta do is check level across our opening, and set our ground level, and mount our bottom track for this gate. We got these are our top guide rollers. They're put in here loose, and we'll adjust these back and forth to get the gate level once it's in place, and raise this up or down where it needs to go. Right now we got it where we're picking this up, getting ready to put it in. We got our bottom tracks, so had to bolt this on and then put our trucks, our trolleys on there, level those up, get them in place. All right, so almost running out of daylight here. Nice cold evening, but we got the gate in place. There's a couple stoppers that go in on each end to keep it from rolling off the tracks either way. We still gotta get this old gate out of the way so that we can fully close it and put our latch. But this is the frame. We got everything leveled up. It's rolling smoothly. I can show you here. And this is nice. Barely takes, it's a huge 30-foot opening, 38-foot gate. It barely takes any effort to open and close that. So that we've got our bottom trucks that everything runs on, and then these guides we've got set that they pretty much are rollers that keep this gate upright and level while it's rolling. And yeah, you can see these 2 tensioners have a turnbuckle in them that you can actually adjust if you need to level up the gate. So that's the frame all in place with the guide rollers up top and the bottom trucks. And tomorrow we will work on putting the pickets along the front and finishing the latch and everything. And then I still got some rough in and some electrical to do, but ultimately we'll have a gate operator here and all of this will be automated.